Broads Media.
What the hell happened? What the hell happened over the last 48 hours? First, before anything, Eagles, I want to thank everybody who reached out over the last day or so congratulating my wife and I because our little baby girl, Brooklyn, is now here. It is tremendous, fantastic. So we just got dispatched from the hospital today. It's our first night home, and somehow I managed to miss so much. Okay, I escaped the sports world for just a little bit of time, and the Eagles blow up. And that's what happened. Okay, I dealt with Slay going on his podcast saying, I played a good game. My entire team just didn't. Now Sean Desai is in the booth watching from overhead, and Matt Patricia is running the show. Matt Patricia is the face of the Eagles defense. Somebody help me. I don't know if I'm going to make it. This is tragic. It's so embarrassing, especially when Nick Serianni, your head coach, faced the media a couple days ago and said, we're not changing anything. Oh, by the way, is Jalen Hurts sick because he's traveling to Seattle by himself, removing himself from being surrounded by the team? Maybe it's Mariota. Really? We got Mariota on a flex game Monday Night Football on the road when you're coming off for your two worst losses as a core. This is starting to fall apart. Also, A.J. Brown is trying to clear up his name from the Derek Gunn report that people are texting him saying this offense is not developing fast enough. Also, before Sean Desai got kicked upstairs, Byard I guess he's clapping back at some people on social media because there was an article posted about how he went to Sean Desai and he went to the defensive minds and elected to maybe throw out a possibility where the team is studying film. The team, the guys in the secondary room, they're the ones maybe coming up with the game plan. Whoa. You're 10-3. You're supposed to win a Super Bowl this year. You're supposed to be the team, the squad that everybody wants to be. You want to make a statement and be a powerhouse in the league. And now you got newcomers who just got added a couple weeks ago showing his knowledge. And I don't know if I believe in what this defensive guy's trying to do. So much so that Jeff McClain is saying that there's an Eagles source that he spoke to that said Sean is smart and his players do like him, but he lacks confidence. A guy, a veteran pro like Byard, who by no means has been lighting the lamp on fire here. There is something to be said about him walking through these doors, and then now he's making big proposals and big game-changing, week-changing. He's throwing in week-changing advice. And we're going to act like that's okay? So that's where we are. 48 hours removed from the last time I thought about this team with my full heart. What the hell happened? That's why I started the show with that exact question. This is horrendous, okay? It's less about Sean Desai no longer being here and calling the shots. He is still here. I guess they're keeping the defensive coordinator tag to his name. That's even more of a slap in the face. Not only was he just standing and having a press conference, all right, Sean Desai, go out there. I don't know if they were trying to save face, but here's reality of the situation, okay? Howie Roseman wanted this leaked, and this was a Howie Roseman move. This was not a Serianni move. Doug Peterson did the same thing for his guy Mike Groh. He's sticking to his crew, and someone overstepped him and said, we're not going to have this. And here's how I know. Because Adam Schefter is the mouthpiece for Howie Roseman. Whenever he says a damn thing, you know the source is the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay? Now, the numbers are the numbers. Jeff Kerr of CBS Sports threw this out there after the game was over. or excuse me, after the news was sort of released. The Eagles defense under Sean Desai since week 8. In points per game allowed, 30 points per game, which is 31st in the league. Sack rate, 31st in the league. Yards per game allowed, 32nd in the league. Pass yards per game allowed, 32nd in the league. Third down defense, 32nd in the league. Red zone defense, 32nd in the league. It speaks for itself, but it's more just about the turmoil. Things are starting to unravel quickly, and for all the great things that Nick Serianni does well, and I want to make sure you heard that correctly, for all the things that he does well, and there are a lot of them. One of the deficiencies is, and it's fair, I'm not taking shots at him. I'll be honest, his first press conference, I didn't get it. I was on the side of, does that sound like an NFL head football coach? And he has proved me wrong to that point. But there is truth, just to play the other side of Mr. High School Harry, all right? The rah-rah, everything when going well is easy to kind of appreciate and love and all of that. But the moment it unspirals in a professional NFL room, when guys are making millions of dollars and you're not Mr. Cheerleader, what happens? So far, I'm seeing from a distance less about Mr. Matt Patricia stepping in because he'll be better than those numbers. I bet you I could be better than Sean Desai's numbers. It's impossible to get worse. It's not even a thing. It's impossible. So, of course, against the team that's running their backup quarterback out there in Seattle, yeah, it'll probably look more efficient, even without Slay. By the way, over the last 48 hours, Darius Slay needs surgery. Oh, he's going to be missing time. By the way, no Zach Cunningham, and Cam Jurgens won't be out there either. What the hell just happened to this team? It's killing me inside. It's so painful. And from a distance, regardless on if it's an upgrade or not, and by the way, your best quarterback hates this guy. He despises Matt Patricia because of what happened with the Detroit Lions and how he walked into that locker room and thought his shit didn't stink. Well, guess what? It stinks. And now that guy is the guy who's going to have the headset on calling the game. It can't get worse. I know it can't get worse, but it's about more of the approach. We are in a position at 10-3 to move on from your defensive coordinator and ask him to do something else and to methodically try and step out in the public and say this because you know it'll get a loud reach, and it sure should. No team that can really go do this at 10-3 make a knee-jerk reaction like this. You have to sort of ride with your gun. You don't go to Matt Patricia. Okay, this isn't some savvy young creative mind that maybe you're looking forward to see in the future and see growth. Absolutely not. I want nothing to do with this clown. I don't. It'll be better than Desai, and I know that, but that's not the point. The point is, okay, on 97.5 The Fanatic, Adam Schefter was speaking with the John Kincaid Show, and he stated how the Eagles got the last choice on their coordinators. That was them sort of setting the foundation to this getting out in a couple of days or so. He literally was like, okay, Howie, what do you got for me? That's Schefter picking up the phone as Howie's punching the number. Yo, Schefty, I need some help here. Our defensive coordinator's ass. Our defensive coordinator sucks. So just let the world know that the only reason why he was hired instead of maybe Denard Wilson, who, remember, there was a lot of respect from the players that thought there's something to this. And to be fair, as alluded to with Jeff McClain and his source, Sean Desai is a good guy. I think Sean Desai does have a lot of good connections in that room, and he's willing to relate with these. He fits that little narrative of the Nick Serianni style. But if you don't walk around with swag, and Serianni has to this point, he believes in himself, he believes in his scheme, which is troublesome. He believes in what he's building, and there's a lot of good to it. But what happens if there is a downfall? This is what started to happen when Doug Peterson had to be let go, and we needed something new, and there had to be a new voice and a definite change in the message from the top. That's what happened. This is the first shoe to drop, and Howie was sprinkling the foundation, and we got the last crack of the coordinators. Why would the Eagles want that out? I'll tell you plain and simple. They had this all strategically planned, because that's a wild thing to just pick out of your ass, Shefty, in the middle of a week, when a week later, here's one of the most biggest storylines in all of football. The Eagles are making personnel change. Now, I know that there's a portion of the fan base that disregards all of the negative and just say, well, the guy was terrible. So because the guy is terrible, we need to improve. So we need to dial something up better. And there was a lot of breakdown on Twitter. He's dropping Nolan Smith into coverage. He's asking certain guys to pass rush who probably is better in coverage. Yet one of your better pass rushers, you're asking to do more and to try and defend other skill position players. It ain't gonna work, dude. It's a very hard ask. What the hell was Sean Desai doing? It's a very multi-layered question that can get stabbed at from a lot of different angles. So back to the positive portion of the fan base. Of course, some just are so angry with Sean Desai and hated everything that he did that it was the most obvious excitement, because it's just more about the results. And I don't think it'll get worse. I don't. You're not facing the 49ers. You're not facing the Dallas Cowboys, who didn't have the best day this afternoon. Okay, I watched Buffalo stomp them into the ground, and it was an obvious letdown game because of how intense the rivalry is between the Eagles and the Cowboys. But that was ugly, and it always does make it better when the Cowboys do something that ugly. And all those here them boys, idiots, they're now feeling different, right? Tommy Tough Nuts on Twitter. It's not the same anger towards us and hatred towards us. It's bickering in between their own fan base, which we deal with a lot over the last 3 weeks. So who am I to really say anything? And even when the Eagles were lined up to play the Cowboys, my message all week long was do not downplay the Cowboys, because they just beat up on bad teams and struggle against teams with winning records. And I stand by that. And trust me, the Dallas Cowboys bet you over and spanked you hard, and they embarrassed you, and they kicked you down and curb stomped your teeth in with the fresh pair of Timbs. So we're the last. We're the last to mock them. But I'm still going to do it. The Cowboys are 1-3 against teams currently with a winning record. They have a point differential of minus 38 in those games. Point differential of minus 58 in road games against teams currently with a winning record. That's also from Jeff Kerr of CBS Sports. So basically, what does this say about the Eagles? Maybe the Eagles aren't as good as you think, but I'm the one saying that, dude. I'm the one saying this is a problem. We have an internal issue once again. You see it all around sports. This is exactly how it goes when you watch teams fall apart from a distance. Now, maybe if Jalen Hurts is that dude, and I believe he is, and even if this thing does fail, I don't think it's fair to say one man has the firepower to fix an owner and a GM not trusting the head coach with Sean Desai if he wants to stick with them and show that we are one. It's a breaking point. It's a breaking point to know the head coach wants to keep somebody and says no changes are happening. Oh, well, what's the only thing that possibly could have been done? Hey, I'll tell you for free. Jeffrey Lurie ain't happy. He sees those numbers, but now is the pressure on Serianni, because a coordinator going is the first step on the head coach now being looked at and now being criticized more, as he realistically should, because Brian Johnson gets a lot of the hate because of where the offense is while it's a Serianni issue. You'll probably see more running against Seattle, because why in the world would we be asking Marcus Mariota to throw the football to beat them? But hey, I guess I really can't rule anything out. Now I'm going to take a fat sip of water here. And what else happened? Real quick, what else happened? Nick Serianni is having a practice where Jalen Hurts is doing stupid fumbling drills and don't fumble the ball. Come on, bro. Come on. Yes, he has turned the ball over a lot. Yes. It is night and day from what we saw when he was doing his thing. This is pro sports, okay? You don't have to tell him what the problem is. And doing those stupid-ass drills, it's fake. It's phony. When Serianni kept all their starters in late, which I guess the Dallas Cowboys did too. Oh, I'm sure it was really important to get Dak Prescott some stats. You guys are getting your ass kicked. It's such a stupid decision. I guess Mike McCarthy did the whole copycat thing, and, the Eagles did it. It doesn't say anything to the room, okay? If anything, Jalen Hurts or Dak Prescott taking unnecessary shots, you're harming your team. Anything can happen on any play, and if you're down 20-plus points with zero chance to have any sort of life in this one, wrap it up. We got bigger things on our eyes. We got more important things to study, like the San Francisco 49ers. Instead, you got Byard telling the whole entire DB room to go look at tape and we'll come up with our own plan. How is that where we are? That's where we are as a 10-3 team. We're just weeks ago thinking there wasn't anything more dominant because they're just so greasy and find ways. They find ways every single week. They beat the Bills. They beat KC. They shut out KC in the second half on the road. Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, shut him out. And while there was a missed drop pass and all, even with that, the defense was fantastic in the second half. There were a lot of good signs of Desai, and it just, poof, it went gone. But here's Nick Serianni pulling another high school Harry with the fumbling drill. It's not right. He does some things and it's so corny. There's a professional side of this. Wrap it up. Get the starters out. Or, in this case, you speak with Hurts. Yo, dude, you know. I don't got to tell you. We got to clean that up, right? Like, it's part of what Jalen Hurts does well when he's so special. You don't have to embarrass him. It's calling it out in a pathetic way in my eyes. You don't have to tell some of these outstanding, great players what they did or didn't do wrong, especially when it's that obvious and it's smacking you right in the face. I don't see it like Nick Serianni sees it, but I think we all agree that we see TickPick as the greatest, and let me explain to you why. All of us with a brain out there, because they give you free money when you utilize the promo code BRODES, because they have the best prices guaranteed on the market. So you're getting the best prices. If you find seats elsewhere on a different market, okay, the same exact seats for a lower price, you got TickPick that are giving you 110% of the price difference in form of TickPick credit. But guess what? You won't. And then you're getting an added $10 off. You won't, because they are the most beautiful prices out there. And it's upfront pricing. So no more doing the math in your head to prepare for how much extra you plan on spending on top of the listed price on other sites. The price you see on TickPick is the price you'll pay at checkout. Period. End of story. So don't worry about it. And I'll click the link down below in the description, and my promo code will be activated for you. You will get money off. Make sure you join the TickPick family. Okay. I need a sip here, and we got some other things to discuss. Like this Big Dom story. I'll just reiterate my past thoughts because nothing has changed. Shut up if you're complaining about Big Dom not being allowed on the field for the rest of these regular season games. Why are they putting so much into this? Why are they trying to read so deep into what Dom does game days on the field? Shut up. My team is firing, essentially, their defensive coordinator 14 weeks into the season, when this team is hitting its ugliest form. and playing terrible. That is more important. If you're focusing and putting any energy on Dom, then you're wasting life. There's actually time off your life that you're not getting back that you would pray for when you're 96, getting ready to hit the coffin. Okay, lucky to hit 96, by the way, with this cholesterol. Hey, I don't even want to think about it. I was told 58. 58, come on, that means I'm halfway done. We can't be doing this. But when you're 96 and you're in the coffin, you go, remember when I wasted my stupid ass time on Big Dom when I could have thought about Sean Desai getting canned for Matt Patricia? That made more sense, as if somehow convincing yourself that talking about Matt Patricia with a couple minutes to go in your life is any better. But it's better than the alternative here. I don't care about Big Dom. It doesn't matter. If this team's losing because Big Dom, your team sucks. And I'm nervous about them because these are signs of failure. That's what these are, signs of needing change, of not being on the same page. Clearly, there's people at the top that feel one way. Serianni feels another way. I don't know how Brian Johnson feels. The locker room likes Desai as a guy, but if you don't walk around like your shit doesn't stink, you got to have some variation of it. I don't want it so cocky and so arrogant that you're a douchebag, because those guys don't have any sort of relationship with their players, and then they automatically fall apart within, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 weeks. So you have to find that middle. But Nick Serianni, I think the team does look at the way he carries himself, which is different than others, but you could tell that what he preaches, he takes it to his core. Whether it works or not, it's different, but it's a true, like, hey, this is him, and he does have a cockiness about him. You might not like it, and I know a lot of the league doesn't like it. But there's a lot of guys who have won a ton in this league. Their personality blows, and the way they carry themselves is annoying. Bill Belichick is the most prime example. If I could play for any coach in this league, by the way, give me 7 snaps, and it's on defense, the most obvious choice in the world is Mike Tomlin. All right, now, offensively speaking, maybe Andy Reid can scheme me open. Maybe Kyle Shanahan. Could you believe it? Am I going to say I'd rather, if I got 7 snaps to make 4 yards happen in the passing game, should I trust Shanahan with Brock Purdy and maybe all the attention's on Christian McCaffrey and Ayuk and some of the pre-snap movement? Or do we go with an Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, the 2 best possibly to ever live, being together? So I don't know. I might go 49ers. I think I'm going 49ers. But we're getting sidetracked into a whole nother stupid combo. Before we hit the phones, let's kind of hit not a silver lining. Yo, idiot. There's no silver lining to this, you stupid. I'm 3 days in. All right, I guess we're kind of hitting that 3rd day mark here, and I'm already sleep deprived. We're just getting started. All right, this baby hasn't even moved yet. You plop her in the bassinet, and she just sits there, and she sleeps, and she only cries every 4 hours when she needs some food. Other than that, she doesn't even cry when I have to change the diaper. She sits in it until I decide it's time to check, and you go, oh, wait, yeah, you're going to tell me, but I'm sleep deprived, and we're just getting started. Her first game's tomorrow. Her first Eagles game is going to be Marcus Mariota and Drew Lock. I pray to the football gods that Jalen plays. But even if he plays, if he's struggling to play when he's 100%, what am I going to expect on the road in a place where we, historically speaking, have not had good success? Pete Carroll, I swear to God, every time I see a Seattle Seahawks jersey, I want to throw up because it's failure, because it's a big game. What's Carson Wentz going to do? Oh, wait, I don't even get a chance to see. Oh, but no. Carson Wentz forgets how to play football. And the Eagles draft 2nd-round pick quarterback Jalen Hurts. Wait, they just paid Carson Wentz a ton of money. Oh, my God. But that was the time where, what are they thinking? How is that happening? What the hell is going on? Oh, wait a second. Where did that go after? Oh, they had to shift an entire regime. Oh, they had to hit a massive reset. Whoa. What we're experiencing now, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, is very similar to what happened at the end of Doug. Less about the upgrade, the non-upgrade, the same, still a below-average DC. What type of serious contender has Matt Patricia in their corner? And this isn't the Matt Patricia with Bill Belichick, okay? Because Matt Patricia with the pencil, Josh McDaniels, Tom Brady. That doesn't mean Bill Belichick wasn't a good creative defensive mind. Tom fucking Brady. I don't need any more things to say than that. Tom Brady. So Matt Patricia, what he did in New England, Tom Brady. I don't want Matt Patricia having anything to do on a serious front. And does this mean, by the way, that when Sean Desai speaks next, or when the DC, air quotes here, is supposed to speak next, because Sean Desai is still with that label, is he the one that then has to answer the questions? Could you imagine? Don't rule that out. There is a lack of connection from top to bottom right now. I mean, okay. Let's just hear a little bit from you. Let's do it.
Bros, I get it. We got demolished, destroyed, embarrassed. But in football, you have to have a short-term memory, bros. We got to remember, let me clarify, we got to remember the lessons we learned, but we got to be able to bounce back in the week, apply them, and become a better team. We've only really seen, other than, some first half struggles, excellence from this group of guys up until now. We got knocked out twice. Really got knocked out this weekend. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see the rest of the season and how we react, because that's what this team is all about.
I got you. I do. When the times get really awful, what really describes who you are is how you handle that. And I do have a lot of faith in Jalen Hurts, but he's also extremely sick. And if it's going to hold Jalen Hurts out and they're afraid for him to fly with the team, it's probably so serious. He's puking and he's shitting himself and his body's sweating and his fever's at 101 degree. It's got to be to that level, because nothing's going to hold Jalen Hurts back. He could need 7 back surgeries and he'll take snaps from Jason Kelsey. So it's not about the tough. It's really knocking him down. What if he is embarrassing out there because he's trying to force himself to play? He's a warrior. He's always about the moment. He wants to go out there and prove to everybody that the last 2 weeks he's sick and tired of hearing the crap, and he could pretend he doesn't hear it, and it's all about being one day better. All he does is get motivated by outside noise, and then he projects it like he doesn't. But then when he does his thing, he relates and reflects back on that. So he does. That's what he does. For 2 straight weeks, they've been called frauds. They've been called not legit. The Dak Prescott-led Cowboys have jumped over them in discussion. Now, we saw what they did against Buffalo on the road. They soiled themselves. Typical Cowboys. Just had to get that jab in there. You saw what they did. Jalen wants to shut up all the talking heads. How you handle yourself is massive. I got you. I can't get there personally right now. I have some friends in my group chat that's all they're saying. That's all they believe in. Hey, this is a great thing. You're inspired. You're right, bros. What type of team at 10-3 say sayonara to a DC? Never. So because it's happening, it's the wake-up call. This is unacceptable. We have a standard. Well, if our standard is dog mentality, 32nd in the league, my friend, is no dog mentality. So because of that, change is made. Everybody wakes up. Yo, fellas, could you believe it? Can't happen. So there's that side of it. Yeah, it's not impossible. Not impossible. But what version of your quarterback can you do that with Mariota? Does that already get deflated when he takes the snaps? Or do you get inspired because of the backup? Quarterback theory. And they're going to run the football more because they're not going to ask Mariota to beat them in the passing game, I don't think. And because the Seahawks, statistically speaking, can't stop the run. So attack that. It's a weakness. There's so many pros to why you would do that if you were led by your backup, or even if you were led by someone who was once labeled an MVP favorite. I'm just saying, we can still do it with him too. I don't get it, man. I don't get it with this team and how we've fallen so far, and reasonably so. I'm not hearing any positive. It's been doom and gloom. I even have people reaching out on the Anytime hotline saying, Broads, I need Sixers. All right, the Flyers, the Red Wings win. Oh, it was so sick. They had so many good wins. They're doing so many great things that I just haven't been available to record about them. I'm getting, Broads, Joel's dropping 40 and 3/4. All right, but all you keep doing is stressing this Eagles team right now. How can I not? This is a colossal failure. And last year it was a colossal failure to have a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl and fall like they fell. And now we're going through like what looked to be, even though the numbers said that they weren't as good as their record indicated and they're only winning games by X, Y, and Z, clutch gene, fourth quarter. But they just haven't been doing that ever since. And then they got some injuries, and you're losing linebackers, and your entire defense in their secondary is basically a makeshift of free agents that they signed, Roby, and traded for Byard, and things like that. Well, when you keep doing that, and Shaq Leonard. A team, by the way, led by Shane Steichen, a very good Colts team right now, short-handed, loses the quarterback. Shane Steichen, savvy. You don't think that team who's competing how they're competing right now couldn't use a great Shaq Leonard? My point is there's a reason why he was available, and all these guys are your starters. Byard's skipping a step at this rate. It's bad. It's bad. So it's not just scheme, but yeah, obviously, I think with this talent, you should be able to do more than what you're getting out of. But it's the principle. It's the principle of how this was all publicized, and the channels that they went through to get here, and laying the foundation, and then Serianni, and then removing what Serianni said. It's bad. It's not good. I'll tell you this much. Teams that are winning and teams that are real, they ain't dealing with this at week 14, week 15. It's just not happening.
Ay. What is going on, bro? What do you think of this new move? Sean Desai is completely gone of his duties. I don't think this is going to help anybody. Howie Roseman has hit the panic button, huh? I mean, there's not a lot Sean could have done with the defense that we've had. The secondary is completely injured. And practicing with Jalen Hurts with these freaking dumb fumble drills. Why don't we practice and establish the freaking run, something we've been asking about all year long?
If they don't, I'm going to be so pissed. If they don't, they screwed this thing up against Seattle. It's smacking you. Yo, Nick. Yo, Brian Johnson. Yo, Matt Patricia. Although he doesn't control the run game. Although the New England Patriots utilized him and Joe Judge as their offensive minds, and poor Mac Jones had to deal with that for an entire year as a young QB. And this guy's at the top of the chain for us. Oh, my God. What the hell? What the hell? It was all good just a week ago. Actually, it wasn't. But one wise man, I can't call him a wise man. Can't call him a wise man. Can't call him a wise man. All right, everybody. I love you guys to death. I appreciate you. Go Birds. See that? That sucks. That's unfortunate. But that's what they do to us.